Hey guys, today I have two index cards using the pour art that I made from my pour art session using the new Dina Wakey pour art supplies. I'm starting out with some index cards, and I die cut two of my index cards with the Tim Holtz mixed media die set, and then I'm just going to adhere the die cut piece on top of another index card, and I'm using a layer of glue underneath and a layer of glue on top, and I'm using heavy gloss gel to adhere it. And the only reason I'm using gloss is because I don't have any matte, or I would have used that. And I'm using gel because I needed something a little heavier. I wanted to make sure all those little intricate pieces stuck down very well to the background. And then I'm going to add a heavy layer of the Dina Wakely Media gesso. For my first card, I'm starting out with some Titan Buff by Golden, and that is a heavy body color. And I'm going through my Donna Downey Scribble Script stencil. And I'm going to take some of that extra Titan Buff and just put it around in some splotches around my card. This is some Apple Barrel Craft Paint in the color Key West. It's a nice minty color. And I'm going to add some splotches of that as well. I'm going to add a big glob of it across the top and then use some water to get it flowing. And this is the second card. I added some spots of the Titan Buff, and then I'm going to go in with a little bit of the Key West color as well. And then I have some golden fluid acrylic in the color Indigo. It's a really nice deep blue color, and it's super pigmented and super fluid. I'm running a line of it across the top of my card, and then I'm going to use some water to get it flowing even more. And I'm just going to tilt my card around and let the water and the paint do its thing until I'm happy with the intensity and where the drips go on the card. I'm going to do the same to the second card, and I like how the paint catches in the texture of that die cut. And then on the second card, I also add a strip of the indigo, a little strip of the indigo on the bottom. This is the Text and Scribble stamp set by Dina Wakely, and I'm taking this one that has circles and it has a little script along the top of the circle, and I'm just using a tiny ink pad in a shadow gray color, and I'm going to ink up just the scribbles and stamp that on my card. And then this stamp has scribble script like in the middle and circles on the outside. I'm just inking up the scribbles in the middle and stamping that. And here I have some Distress crayons, and I'm going in with a whole bunch of colors. I'm trying to highlight that texture that I got from the die cuts. But I didn't end up crazy about the way it looked, so I just sprayed it with some water and wiped most of it away. And this is one of my pour art pieces from the pour art session I did a few days back, and I will link to that video if you haven't seen it. And I'm using a die cut, or a circle die, to trace out a circle. And the reason I didn't run it through my die cut machine with the die is because this wasn't quite completely dry, and it's really sticky, and I used watercolor paper, so it's really thick, and I was afraid that it would stick inside my machine to the die or to my cutting plate, so I just thought I'd freehand cut it, and the circle got a little wonky, but that's okay. I'm now adding some dictionary text paper to my circle, and then I'm going to add some to the upper left-hand corner to get some cohesion throughout my piece. I also ran my ink pad around the circle to get it black to make it stand out a little more, and I thought this card needed a little more of that indigo color along the bottom, so I'm just going to add some of that. And once that's dry, I'm adding some Dina Wakely washi tape to the bottom of my card to give my little girl something to stand on, something to ground her. And the little girl is a stamp from Viva Las Vegas Stamps, and she's just colored loosely with some Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers or pens. And I'm gluing everything down with glossy accents. It holds the watercolor paper down really well. And then to finish it off, I'm going to add some little tiny dots here and there with a Posca paint pen, and this is the extra fine tip, so it has a pretty nice detailed point tip. This is another piece that I made for my pour session, and this one I added a little bit of gold leafing to it, so that's that gold flecks that you see. And on this card, I wanted to add a different color, so I have the Dina Wakely Media in Ocean, and I'm gonna add some of that, add some water to the paint on my craft mat, add it to the top of my card, and then add some more water to get it running. And then I'm also gonna add a little bit to the bottom as well. I'm gonna ink up my circle again to make it stand out. And I'm going to adhere that down with glossy accents, adhere my little girl down, and I'm trying to place her so that you can see more of those. This circle is smaller than the first one on the first card, so I wanted to place her so that you could see the color, the paint swirls and stuff. And she gets some washi tape as well. And for this one, since she's over a little bit to the right, more than the first card, I added a Tim Holtz Chit Chat sticker. And I'm going to outline that with a Stabilo Mark Saw, which is a water-soluble pencil. And then I'm just going to activate that with some water and a watercolor paintbrush. This adds a nice little shadow. I didn't do it to the first card though, just to this card. And then I'm going to add some of those little dots with my paint pen. And that finishes off my 2 cards with my embellishments I made from my pour art. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And I hope you give this technique a try and make some embellishments out of your pour art. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.